I wanted to speak quickly on something that happened to me at the weekend. It's all around our interactions with other people and the observations around that. So um, I'm having a slight bit of conflict in a work situation, and I noticed I got myself quite triggered. Something triggered in me at the weekend. And I was furious. I was like, "Oh, how is he disrespecting me like that?" And I'm running a story and all. Before I know it, my whole my inner peace had gone, and it was I was I ran off on a tangent, and I'm fantasizing about what I can say to him, or should I go and see him and square up to him and have it all out face to face, etc., etc. And obviously, luckily for me, I know that when I'm present enough to feel that raw emotion is not to act and to do nothing, and in fact to try and do something else. So, but here's the thing: when you have that trigger, there's two possibilities for learning them, because obviously the trigger is our perception of what's going on. It may or may not necessarily be true. It may not be our fault what's going on, but it's definitely our responsibility still. So how do we want to act from our higher space, from our true self, so to speak? So there's a learning there. You can understand them. Where's that trigger come from? Why is that come up in me? So that was the first point. So to really look at the triggers, the things that trigger you, and work out where they come from. You'll soon find out. Normally, they come from a childhood thing, or it's the way that you've always reacted, or whatever. But really look into that. Why you do react the way that you do. The second thing is moving on from that. Is how do you then retain your focus, i.e., for me, being in a piece, and also being a focus on my actual end result of what I want from this conflict with this particular individual. So there's an end result that I want, and it's about staying true to that and not being distracted, or and investing too much in that trigger. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I wanted to speak to you about. There's some schools of thought around. It could be the ego and the genius, the light and the dark, the devil and the angel, whatever you want to call it. But there's when I was away in Bali, a couple of teachers touched on this as well. It was like there's the human and there's the being, okay, and we all have this. So for most of us, especially if you're a sensitive type of person, then it's quite easy to, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or whatever, when you meet somebody, it's quite easy to see their being or their soul, or you can quite easily fall in love with that person because their being is perfect. It's love, it's joy, it has no limitations or has no ego about it. It's just pure. That's what it is. The human then, which isn't always bad, but it has conditions. It sees the world a certain place. It obviously has the ego mind embedded into it. So it's and it has a certain set of behaviors, a way of doing things that may or may not be ideal to what you want. So this is what this is what I'm laughing because a friend of mine seems to attract these types of individuals and we were having this discussion, and the point is that you see a soul, but sometimes the actual human is a complete nightmare. The human element of them is a complete nightmare, and there's a reason for that. Sometimes there's no awareness of that there is a two. There's awareness of the human behavior. There's no awareness of how that person, they believe in their humanness. That's what there is. So you could see that's kind of a disparity between the human and the being. So the idea is to look for the type of individual, also within yourself as well. How often are the human and the being aligned? How often are you walking together in unison? Is it 70-30, 80-20, whatever it is? But the idea is that you have the awareness to have the two flow together. There's a lot less suffering in doing things this way. There's a lot less pain doing it this way, and you're just having a momentary then human experience. When you think of, if I go back to the trigger that I had, that was me in my humanness, just going mad for about an hour, and having to wait and calm down and dissipate. And I can't remember who said it. There's quite a common thing of, whenever you get triggered, he said, just, don't just stand there, do nothing. And then there's literally to do nothing, because you feel that emotion brew up in you, and it's normally from the center of your stomach, or it could be, and for me that was anger, but it could be anxiety, it could be a deep sadness, or whatever it is. It could be just an overwhelm of emotion. But whatever it is, it normally is some sort of emotional feeling or emotional response to the external, what's going on, and your interpretation of that. Whereas to wait it out and then connect again with your soul or your being, and see what comes up for you, then you'll be able to communicate a lot clearer. You'll be able to keep focus on the thing that it is that you want. So once you're back in alignment, it's all about alignment. Once you're back in alignment with yourself, then you can start making decisions on that space, from that space, and communicate what it is. And it doesn't mean that you're soft. It means that you've got boundaries. You can communicate with extreme power, but it's in an extremely powerful way, and with a focus in mind and a purpose in mind, to actually continue and focus on the thing that it is that you actually want. So stop and ask yourself, what is it I want from this situation? As opposed to just go into conflict, because you have to remember, if you are being attacked, or there's something, especially in moments of conflict, then that person's probably in there human as well. So two humans having human experiences is never going to get anything resolved. It's not like two children fighting. There's no real resolution to it. So it's worth bearing that in mind, that it's time to sit back, take the higher ground, and then align yourself with yourself, with your humor, with your being, with your soul, and only then communicate or take the necessary action that will help you make the right decision each and every time, as opposed to just being detached from the soul. You need the two to work together in harmony, and then you'll get the results that you want.